Well, artificial intelligence has certainly changed the game. Organizations are no longer considering AI as experimental or a nice-to-have project. In fact, IDC has described this shift as the AI pivot, where AI has now become part of core business strategies and is a key part of how we compete, innovate, and serve our customers. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore what it means to be AI ready and unlock real benefits, ones that drive competitive insights, operational efficiencies, and improve customer engagement, while also acknowledging the very real risk of bias and misuse. Being AI ready is now even more important with the emerging demand for agentic AI. Agentic AI, of course, being models that can autonomously act for decision intelligence. As a matter of fact, a recent Gartner trend indicates that by 2027, over 50% of business decisions will be augmented or automated by agentic AI. That's a call to action to be AI ready if I ever heard one. Now let's examine 6 of the key challenges that stand between most organizations and AI maturity. Then we'll look at some of the leading practices, thinking through every step for becoming a truly AI-ready enterprise. Current statistics indicate that only 4% of existing AI projects have made it into production, just 4%. Let's walk through the most critical hurdles that can stall, and in many cases even derail adoption efforts that you need to address. Our first challenge is one that most organizations continue to struggle with, and that's lack of data maturity. Organizations still have way too much fragmented, incomplete, inaccessible, or outdated information, and that ultimately impedes our AI initiatives. In fact, Precisity's recent 2025 Data Integrity Trends and Insights report found that only 12% of organizations felt their data was of sufficient quality and accessibility for AI. AI projects, in my experience, typically don't stall for lack of ambition, but rather for lack of the accurate, consistent, and contextual data that they require to achieve desired outcomes. The second challenge is the inability to define and track value. Without quantifiable targets and timely monitoring, teams can't really determine if their AI investments are meeting strategic objectives or driving any measurable business value. Third, when organizations have individual departments developing AI capabilities in isolation, it creates fragmented governance and model sprawl. In the absence of centralized oversight, organizations very often accumulate multiple overlapping models, each one with its own standards, documentation gaps, and approval processes. By definition, this creates operational inefficiencies, heightened compliance risk, and often even contradictory outcomes. The fourth challenge is regulatory complexity, which has certainly intensified lately as jurisdictions and industry bodies worldwide are issuing often divergent AI guidelines. Right now, the EU AI Act is taking effect for anyone creating AI models for European businesses. And here in the United States, where I'm located, 32 of the 50 states have pending AI legislation. Our fifth challenge is people-driven, and it revolves around emerging stakeholder accountability. Specifically, the shift from primarily technical ownership of AI initiatives to shared responsibility and accountability across the organization. AI councils that consist of legal, compliance, risk, IT, and business teams, now they jointly bear the responsibility of AI outcomes. Yet, basic role definitions and escalation processes often remain unclear, leading to fragmented responsibility and poor decision-making. And finally, cultural education and change management are essential to align teams around AI adoption. In environments where employees lack fundamental AI literacy or are still resistant to new concepts and processes, pilots stall and adoption rates remain concerningly low. Now let's turn to some leading practices that will transform these challenges into a foundation for sustainable, scalable AI success. First and foremost, AI readiness starts with data integrity. Full stop right there. Start by ensuring your models properly integrate all relevant sources, internal, external, and historical, and apply data quality checks to detect anomalies before they reach production. Establish governance policies that define ownership and data lineage, and also implement data observability pipelines so you can continuously monitor the health of your data. Finally, layer in an enrichment process to add nuance and also reduce bias. This helps ensure that your models continuously learn from both a complete and a representative data set. Next, your AI framework must be able to adapt and scale. So design your infrastructure and processes with growth in mind. Leverage automated model deployment, tracking, and version control so you can easily handle new demands or shifts in your business priorities. Embed workflows that enforce approval gates, human-in-the-loop reviews, and real-time performance tracking to maintain oversight as you scale. Use flexible solutions and standardized interfaces to onboard new data sources and use cases without having to re-engineer your entire framework. By building for scale from day one, you'll preserve agility while still upholding governance and compliance, and you'll be able to do it at enterprise scale. Finally, like most things, AI readiness for your organization ultimately centers on people and culture. Targeted training programs that elevate data literacy and AI fluency across functions help your teams grasp both the potential rewards as well as the risks associated with each use case. AI councils must align stakeholders around a shared vision and also ensure clear approval paths for ethical or for performance concerns. The bottom line is this: when your teams trust the data, when they follow a consistent framework, and when they speak a common language, you will be ready to transform AI from a siloed experiment into a sustainable, high-impact capability powering your broader business strategies. Now we'll have Megan Hines, product specialist and senior manager here at Precisely, who will share a demo of key capabilities that are needed to successfully support your AI journey.
I'll be breaking down this demo into two sections today. First, getting your data artificial intelligence ready, and then also getting your organization ready to implement proper governance around the use of AI. So right now we're in the Precisely Data Integrity Suite, which is a hybrid SaaS solution designed to support you at any stage of your data or AI readiness journey. So starting off, the Data Integrity Suite can help us integrate siloed data sources to ensure models are as comprehensive as possible to minimize bias. And what's unique about the Data Integrity Suite is once you connect to your data for anything you're doing, moving data, assessing it, remediating data quality issues, these data sources are automatically cataloged and profiled in the core foundation of our tool, reducing the manual efforts to create visibility into your data. And so we can gain more context and trust in our data's accuracy through various parts of the data catalog. So immediately, when looking for any of our data assets, the first thing that we see is a data quality score, helping us understand and assess how accurate it is. Drilling down into this data set, we can add tags and descriptions to help us gain context into our data. And then finally, we offer embedded data lineage. What this does is it helps us understand where our data is coming from. How is it used downstream in our organization? Understanding our data and the journey of it helps us determine its appropriate usage in different AI models. For example, here, looking at this customer master data set, we can see that we really don't have a great data quality score, making it unsuitable for training our AI models. Now, in the same tool, without ever leaving the interface, I can also go ahead and resolve data quality issues, helping deliver trust in your data, translating to trust in your artificial intelligence. This intuitive experience encourages faster adoption and higher customer satisfaction across both business and technical users, resulting in stronger data maturity that's required for more accurate AI outcomes. Finally, once we've prepared our data for artificial intelligence, we can use the Data Integrity Suite to maintain visibility into data quality over time using our data observability tool. So data observability will monitor patterns and trends in your data over time and alert any stakeholders to anomalies in your data as it changes. So this is going to allow you to continuously ensure that your training models are still built on data that's fit for purpose. So this is also where the Data Integrity Suite shines. Not only can we govern our data, but we can also manage the AI model usage it supports. This is because our data governance functionality is built with a unique, open, and flexible meta model. Since no two organizations have the same governance needs, our tool adapts to reflect that. This means that users can utilize the tool for both data governance of the training data and AI model management. To give you an idea of what that might look like, let's take a look at our business assets within our governance module. Well, in the first half of this demo, we were looking at your technical data assets. We can also define business assets for things like your artificial intelligence use cases. This helps us define, document, and track the end user value gained from utilizing artificial intelligence. So here, using customizable and flexible fields, we've defined key values for the usage of this specific artificial intelligence model. like the data utilized, associated policies, the phase of the project. All of this is customizable to your organization's needs around artificial intelligence. This is where we see a ton of value with the flexible meta model. So we can create policies that are tied to various business assets, such as a use case like we're looking at now, or we can associate it with data in your catalog. This integration ensures that our governance practices are comprehensive, consistent, and adaptable to an organization's unique needs. By linking artificial intelligence policies to business and technical assets, we can help address several key challenges around artificial intelligence governance and regulations. We can help you ensure that all parts of the organization adhere to consistent policies as they develop and utilize artificial intelligence independently. Or we can embed external regulatory requirements such as the EU AI Act into our artificial intelligence policies, allowing us to navigate complex regulatory landscapes more effectively. In addition to the capabilities we've already covered today, the foundation of the Precisely Data Integrity Suite also offers something called workflows. It's a powerful feature designed to streamline and standardize your data processes. Workflows are going to work across the suite to ensure the tasks are completed efficiently and with full accountability. They help you automate routine steps like approvals, reviews, and escalations. They reduce the risk of human error, save valuable time, and free up your teams to focus on more strategic work. So, for example, here we're looking at a pretty typical workflow. It begins with a AI use case request, flows through a council review, and then it proceeds to a legal review if needed, and it has built-in decision points like more information is needed or full approval. This structured approach ensures transparency, traceability, and compliance at every step. You gain operational efficiency through automation, consistency in how data-related decisions are made, and governance built into every step of the process. It's just one more way the Data Integrity Suite supports your end-to-end artificial intelligence journey. Really, the bottom line is that by leveraging the Data Integrity Suite, organizations are better prepared for successful artificial intelligence adoption by not only ensuring data maturity for their training models, but also by creating a centralized and standardized framework to support AI readiness now and into the future.
At this time, I'm delighted to welcome our valued customer, Cedric Charlier, Group Head of Data and Integration at Elia. Cedric will be joined by our own CTO, Tendu Yugurchu, to discuss key priorities and considerations as Elia leverages artificial intelligence in their core business strategy.
Hi everyone, I'm Tendu Yogurtçu, Chief Technology Officer at Precisely. I'm privileged to have our guest Cedric Charlier today from Elia Group. Cedric, thank you for joining us today. How do you see artificial intelligence being used for new or expanded enterprise initiatives at Elia?
So we see three kinds of AI for the next years. The first one is about Gen AI and it's day-to-day using. So that means that it will be for office people that are already working in the office just to increase the productivity. It can be something like a chatbot and so on, but we are also extending that to understanding of complex documents and so on, to be able to abstract them and to resume them. And really, that's an important point for us to improve the efficiency. That's naturally also for IT and developing faster and so on. Another one is everything about maintenance of assets, where we have kilometers of overhead line and so on. So it's very difficult to go work there and see all the different impediments or issues that we have on our network. And so we are using more and more drones, and more we are using also image recognition to be able to detect some defects on the different assets. So it's really important for us to improve in terms of image recognition, but also in terms of detection of the asset and understanding of where the asset is where the issue is coming from. So that's a second part. And a third part is about market forecasting. So what we try to do is try to anticipate what will happen next quarter, next month, next week, or even next quarter hour.
What have been your biggest challenges when implementing AI so far?
Naturally, with AI, there is a huge difference with classic softwares. We are not sure with AI that we can find something that will work perfectly, that will never get a wrong answer and so on. So first, it's about education to the people, that we can give 99% results, but not 100, or we cannot be confident that it will always be 100. Also, especially in the market, conditions are changing. So we have new customers, we have new practice in the market and so on, that are directly influencing our forecasters. And so something working during months and months suddenly can have not so good results, and we need a bit of data to retrain the model with those new patterns and so on. So that's really about education of people. Another part is also about data. We need data. We need data with a lot of quality. To be really efficient, we need also data that we can find quickly. So that means that for development of new models, we need to know where the data are located. We need to know the quality of the data. We need to know how to improve this quality if we need to improve. And that's a lot of concern, a lot of metadata about the data that are quite important and where we started to invest in the last years, but it's not complete at the moment.
How do you see data quality and governance influencing the success of your enterprise initiatives and AI initiatives?
Both data quality and data governance are key aspects to be successful in AI in the next years. So we really need that the data governance drive and improve the data quality. So we need to focus on the data governance aspect that will improve this data quality. And it's how we see the different relations between those two items. It's really important that we measure data quality. We anticipate the problem and we know exactly what will be the data quality when we will be in a production environment, not just when we are training the models and so on. We need to fully understand the life cycle of the data, when they are available, when they will not be available anymore. We need to understand the latency between the system generating the different data and when we are able to consume those data in the AI model. That's really the key point. Data governance will need to focus on those aspects. Focus also is not just describing. It means that if we have a latency of 7 minutes and it's too much for our forecasting model, but we need to reduce it. Data governance is about investing into reducing this latency between two systems.
Cedric, thanks again for joining us and for the continued partnership.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cedric and Tendu. That was great. In closing, the path to AI-driven growth begins with honest reflection and assessment of your organization's readiness. I'm sure most of you have already seen or maybe even experienced things like value that goes unmeasured, fragmented data, and governance gaps that expose you to bias and compliance risk. Now, you've just heard me lay out the blueprint for success. Data integrity baked into every model, scalable processes that adapt to change, and a cultural framework that embeds accountability and transparency across your teams. So now it's time to translate insight into action. I encourage each of you to pause and really ask yourself, have we established the visibility, controls, and feedback loops to track the value of our AI investments? Are our data platforms unified, clean, enriched, and observable enough to support our use cases and even our most ambitious AI models? Do our stakeholders, from our C-suite down to our frontline analysts, share a common vision and language around risk, performance, and AI ethics? If you want to follow a path that ensures positive outcomes, well, stop guessing and start knowing where you really stand. Let Precisely's data strategy consulting team spearhead your AI readiness and do it with laser-focused precision. Our custom AI readiness assessments are backed by a team of data experts with an average tenure exceeding 25 years. So we cut through the AI noise to expose your data strengths, unearth critical gaps in governance, and ultimately turbocharge your operational workflows. Unlike many who claim expertise in this space, you won't get that typical vague advice from us. Instead, you'll get a comprehensive, priority-driven playbook and a step-by-step actionable roadmap that empowers you to act with speed, confidence, and complete control. So let's unlock AI's limitless opportunity together. Precisely is ready to make you an AI-ready enterprise. Thank you for your time today. Now let's just make it happen.